Hello to everybody, and welcome to the Digital to Dice podcast. I am Dave.
I'm Ron.
And today we got a special show today. It is our 2-year anniversary show.
Hard to believe that, isn't it?
Yeah. We're partying like it's
1949. There we go. I'll walk for you. I'll walk for you. I'll walk for everybody.
Yeah. So today we're going to reflect back on 2 years of the show, go over some of the things that we've done and learned and evolved, and maybe some of our favorite moments in the whole bit. Also give you a chance again to try to support the show, keep us going for another year. We have 2 years under our belt now, and so we get more storage fees, over at Spreaker and here with StreamYard and stuff like that. So again, give you a chance to support the show. Last year, everybody was so great helping us get through another year. To just paying some of the bills over here so we can keep this going for you guys here. So we're hoping to do that again this year.
This is our 97th episode.
Yeah, show.
Which means that we've pretty much been weekly for the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's been pretty close to weekly. Yeah, we got a lot of things going up here between the two of us here. So we have this is our 2-year anniversary show. We've both just hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channels.
Yes, congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, to both of us here. Thank you, everybody that did that. And in a couple of weeks, we got show 100 coming up. So, holy cow, everything kind of jam-packed in here over the summer. Yeah. Now, in case anybody's wondering, we are doing a video version of this as well. So that'll be available on my YouTube channel. You can check out the video version of this, along with the audio versions. We didn't go live. We're going to tape this one here. But on the video version, I am going to put the ticker up and across the bottom. There's a couple ways that you can help donate to the show.
Help keep with the show.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. Actually, let me get to that now. We'll talk about it a couple times.
How about how you get a hold of us first?
Okay, let's talk about that. So how you get a hold of us? Digitaltodice.com is the website. That's where we park all the shows over on Spreaker, and now this will be 97 shows over there.
Sidney Crosby Show.
The Sidney Crosby Show. 97 shows over there on Spreaker. Over on Facebook, it's facebook.com/groups/digitaltodice. That's where you can go. And
780 members.
Holy cow. That is unbelievable.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that is really cool. We do have a phone number here. I don't have it ready to put up on the screen, but it's 978-751-DICE. 978-751-3423. You can send us a text message on the show, and the email is simple, digitaltodice@yahoo.com. And we also have a Cafe Press site if you'd like to go and get some Digital to Dice gear. That does help support the show a little bit, not as much as a regular donation, but we get a couple of crumbs from them. I still haven't got anything from them, by the way.
But it's swag. You want swag on the show.
You want some swag on the show.
You want a coffee cup, It's too bad that Cafe Press doesn't do dice towers, because that would be the ultimate swag.
Yeah, but you can get a mouse pad, though.
To put on, mouse pad
and roll your dice on that, Yeah. So, cafepress.com/digital to dice is over there. Now, ways you can donate to the show, you can send PayPal. A couple easy ways to do it. So, over on PayPal, it's the direct link is paypal.me, /IceHog. That is the name of my company, ICEHOG. So paypal.me/IceHog. Or just, I think you could search IceHog and PayPal over there as well. And I think we have those links up on Spreaker, on Spreaker page on digitaldice.com.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's there as well. And there is a Venmo as well, and that's just at Dave-Gardner-44. So it's my name, Dave-Gardner-44, and you'll see the league logo on my Venmo page. It's a little shield for the Eastern Mass Hockey League there that I run. So it just runs through there, so I don't have to go set up any separate accounts. It'll just go right to there, and I'll see that come immediately. But yeah, a couple ways to help with the show going forward here. And everybody was so great last year. We were blown away by the support.
Absolutely.
And I guess, wow, I mean, looking at it this year, we have a lot more listens, a lot more listeners. I mean, the number count is, I don't want to say it's doubled in the last year, but it might have compared to last year.
They're very steady, and it's very appreciated, too, to sit there and know that you guys listen to us on a week-to-week basis. And those of you who are new to the show, go through and start to listen from episode 1 and move on.
Yeah.
episode 97.
We get that a lot. We'll get emails or text or something. It's like, oh, I just discovered the show and I'm going back listening all the way back to episode 1. And but but I've done that too. You know, I when I used to listen to a lot of podcasts, depending what the subject was, I'd find a show like, oh, you know, especially if they're timeless shows. You know, that's the thing. A lot of the stuff is like, here's today's news. It's like, well, that's no good 2 years ago.
One of the things that you and I talked about from the start was, what do we do with it? Do we make it like a bagel and, you know, have it fresh for that week? And you've done podcasts and I've done podcasts, and I really wanted to push for the timeless thing, so you could go back and listen to something we did 2 years ago, and although it's not all going to be fresh, there's the topic of the day, I think more often than not remains fresh, and certainly the interviews do. I don't believe there's anyone that we've interviewed in the last 2 years that isn't in the game making business anymore.
Yeah, their game's still relevant and still out there. I mean, occasionally we might talk to somebody that will have an updated game or something like that, but for the most part, their core games are still there. Occasionally we'll talk about a sale that's happening, or especially a Black Friday show.
Yeah, the Black Friday show.
Yeah, or if something comes up and we know about it, we might try to get it in on the show. But again, you know, we try to preface this by saying, well, we're in July of 2021, so what we're talking about here might not be good in 6 months. But
right.
So yes, we try to stay current, but we try not to dwell on the current, because we do want to make it a timeless show, and especially with the topics, because I'll go back sometimes and look at one of our old shows and it's like, oh, well, we know we talked about that, you know, and so it's still relevant, you know. Here it is, a year and a half, 2 years later. So,
you know, one of us will get an idea for something. We'll be playing something, and have we ever talked about this, or does this, you know, frustrate you too, or whatever? And of course, we always like it when you guys give us ideas for possible show topics. It doesn't mean that we'll do a show specifically on your topic, but it doesn't mean that we won't do it either. Because we want to know. We want to know. And, you know, Dave is still the relative noob. Although he's older than I am, I'm the grizzled veteran of 30 years. And so there's stuff that, you know, is new to me. It's certainly new to him. And we'd like to talk about these things.
And being the new guy, there's a lot of things that are exciting to me that are just kind of, you know, old hat for you as well.
Right.
So we come at it from different points of view. Me being new and, ooh, look at the shiny new keys. And you're saying, oh, yeah, I've been there. And then me being confused about something. And you saying, oh, no, here's how to handle this. So, yeah, right off the bat, it was kind of neat that we got two different coming at the show from two different angles.
Exactly.
You know, so to speak, you know. And so, so looking back on the show, again, you know, we did a 1 year anniversary last year. We talked about the beginnings of the show. So I guess maybe we talk about the last year, you know, and what's happened since then. Obviously, 2020 was a difficult year for everybody. And,
yes,
you know, we did a lot of live videos as well as the show. Mm-hmm. But the show, we still get feedback from last year's show. And it's pretty amazing how many people who are like, wow, you know, I look forward to this show to get me through the week because, you know, what was going on. And even now I get people that email, and it's flattering. It is. And it feels like that we're actually doing something good for the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I get someone, and the other day, someone sent an email in, and he's like, hey, you know, I still look forward to the show popping up in my inbox every week, and I look forward to it. And, you know, I listen to them, and you'd be amazed how many people say they listen to the show more than once. And I'm guilty of that. I got to raise my hand. I'm guilty of that, too, with some of my favorite podcasts. It's because you listen to it, and then you go back, and then you kind of get a little bit more out of it a second time. So I can see how people would do that. It's weird hearing that about our show.
Something that we do? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it is very strange, but it's not something that I haven't done with somebody else's show. It's like, you know, I listened to that a couple times because you pick up on a lot of it, then you go back in and you pick up on even more of it, and it stirs things, you know, in your memory, or, you know, whatever. It stirs discussion up. So. But, so we get a lot of people that have written in about that. And I guess that's the surprising thing, is that how strong we're still going after 2 years. The numbers, when we go on to our Spreaker statistics, and it goes up on my YouTube page as well, and we look at the listens and the views, it's definitely increasing every week. And it's interesting, too, that we get more feedback from the topic shows, but we get more listens on the interview shows.
And I think we've done a better job in responding to what you guys want out there and trying to do I wouldn't say 50-50 interview in just us, but we definitely try to get more guests on to do that, because don't choke there. People can see you this week. Gardner just barely survives every taping of the show. I don't know how the hell we get through it.
It's muggy over here today. I had to have a drink of water. I just walked the dog. It's muggy.
It is. It's supposed to be 86 here today, by the way. Now I lost my train of thought. It's wonderful getting old, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you were talking about how we were splitting the interviews up versus topics.
Keep it a balance of, topics there, because we don't necessarily have a topic we think we can get a half hour out of every week. And it's always interesting, and like, obviously as the show matures and gets older, we have people higher and higher up on the game-making food chain that want to talk to us. That are always interested in hearing what other people have to say. And I know, I can't give you a direct example, that you and I have done our own issue-based shows based on topics that came up in conversation with other creators.
Yes. Yep.
And because of that, if you want to kind of bridge into, what we've done over the last 2 years, we both have sat there and played games and tried out games and liked games that we never would have before. I know that you're the relative newbie to the hardcore sports sim world, but if you sat there 2 years ago and said, you're going to own 5 football games and 6 basketball games, and you're going to have in your collection a track and field sim and this, that, and the other thing, I'd have said no, thank you, but no.
Yeah.
I'm always eager to try out, I guess, new things. And your eyes are open and people will ask questions, and it's like, I don't really have the answer for this. And so, I guess that's kind of the coolest thing, is that I have tried things that it's not quite the eating your vegetables portion of the program, but all the things that you and I have sampled, and some things that we've really grown to love.
Well, it is fun trying new things, like trying a new restaurant, so to speak. And
right.
And sometimes it's like, wow, we'll be back. And other times like, well, that's a one-off, and thanks, and whatever. And that goes for gaming too. There's some games that I absolutely love, and I would play all the time. And there's other games that I play and I either don't enjoy, or I can't figure out, or they're just not fun for me. And
right.
And we talk about all the time, what's not fun for me may be fun for you.
Absolutely.
And what you can't stand, I might like, and that has been the case so many times, and where someone will come on and say, oh, well, I can't believe you love this game because it's terrible, and then someone will come on and say, I can't believe you don't like this game because it's wonderful. And it's like, well, it's how we feel about things. There's sometimes I want to have something in a game and it doesn't provide it to me, and I don't like it, and other times you want something in a game that it doesn't give you, but I like it.
But we both have different ways that we like to play, attack a game. And so much of sports talk radio is manufactured, argued crap.
Yeah.
That the hosts may actually agree on a topic, but because of ratings and shtick, vehemently disagree. So you'll sit there and listen. I mean, there are things that Dave and I don't agree about. It's not manufactured, and because we both want to support the community, it's not arguing either. It's just different points of view, and I think that's important. I think if we both sat there and agreed that Game A was the best thing since sliced bread, and everyone should play this way, and one of the things that we established really early on was there is no wrong way to play a game. There is, Dave alluded to it earlier. If I like Game A and Dave likes Game B, well, there's nothing wrong with either game. It depends on how you do it, how you want to approach it.
A lot of times I find when you like a game and I don't, or vice versa, we talk it out. Sometimes we talk it out in private, and sometimes we talk it out on the show. But we'll always say, I can see how you like this, or I can see how you don't like this. So there's always a common ground in there. It's like, okay, yeah, you don't like this game. Yeah, I can see how you wouldn't like it. I do, and I can get past that, or I do like what this game does, but I can see how you wouldn't, and it's been vice versa too. There's been sometimes that you're like, wow, I don't like that game at all, but now that I see you play it and how you do it, I can see how you do like this game.
Yeah,
and there's been games that you love, and you try to sell me on. I'm like, these are the issues I have, and you're like, I can see that.
Yeah.
And you don't you see the issues, but you either get by them or you deal with them, or they're not as big as a deal. Because again, we all have our gaming preferences, and sometimes this is a big deal for somebody and it's not for somebody else.
Well, if you're a game creator, and there are times I feel like that we are judges on a cooking show, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it actually does.
And so we have, okay, Davey, what did you make for us for the squid tonight?
I made some squid with some ham with some grape jelly on it that I toasted with some butter.
Oh, the butter was, so in all seriousness, and so we are supposed to be like these grand chefs and pass judgment on it. And again, Dave and I have, I don't want to say a vastly different way that we judge and play games, because I don't think that's true at all. There are certainly preferences that we both have, and appreciate the fact that we don't have the same preferences in there. But for, again, it's not like Siskel and Ebert. Well, I gave this a thumbs up, and you're an idiot if you gave it a thumbs down. I think that I don't want to toot our own horn to say it's a rite of passage, but I think it's tough when a game creator brings his baby onto the show and we take a look at it, and we know pretty much from the get-go whether this would be something that we would pick up or not. And anyone who has the balls to sit down and put their baby on paper, I give a lot of credit to.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of effort, and it's just like writing fiction. You're sharing something that you feel strongly about with the world, or in this case, the community. And not everyone is going to like what you do, and we never would dress down anybody on interview, whether we like the game or not. But some of the people over the last couple of years, you could tell it's been tough for them to be on. And again, we're not there to pass judgment. We're not going to say the grape jelly you used overpowered the flavor of the squid. That would be kind of weird anyway, Dave. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, and when we were done with the interview part that you guys heard, when not the camera went off, but thank you so much. And when they had the chance to relax, some of the conversations we had after
were better than the interview.
We're better than that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we had some really good chats with practically everybody after the interview. We sit and we talked to them for a little bit, unless somebody had to run out. But we had some great conversations, whether it's about their product or just when we have Steve Tower on, and we just chatted about the community. And it was a nice chat with him before and after the show about the community and stuff that he did, and maybe stuff he didn't want to say on the show, and stuff that we didn't want to say on the show. But we had a nice chat. I mean, it was nothing terrible, about anybody or anything. But
we never want to get you.
No,
either.
No, that's not that's not the idea of this.
This is the Larry King of sports podcasting. There's no got you questions. We're going to sit there and go, so tell me, what do you think about this? That sort of thing. We want to, if you're invited on and we want to have you on, it certainly is about, how can we promote your product? I think the one thing that I've really picked up on in the last 2 years is that everyone who games has their own little world in fiefdom. And there's nothing wrong with that. And trying to get people not necessarily to work together on that, but give everyone an understanding that what you want to game is your own thing, and we don't want to tell you what you should be gaming and what you shouldn't be gaming and all that. Trying to help build a like-minded community, and along with Delphi. I don't want to say that we're the only ones doing that. And ST Patrick's Sports Sim magazine, which is coming out supposedly soon.
Yeah, July, right? Yeah,
it's been July. Did you get a piece in for that this time around?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I got a piece in this time around for that as well. So, to help kind of, the one thing that sticks out over and over, there's a lot of things that stick out over and over and over again, but the one thing that always strikes me as interesting when we get a comment is, I didn't realize I wasn't the only one that played these games. I thought I was by myself, because these aren't things that we share with spouses. Dave and I are childless, so it's not like we have kids running around and going, tell me again about watching Bobby Orr on the 8mm highlights.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. So there's really no one there to share that with. Even if there was, it's like, okay, yeah, Gramps, let's do this again. That strikes me over and over and over again. Like, I thought I was the only one. It's like, no, it's not thousands and thousands of people, which is why 1,000 subs for you and I on YouTube is a huge deal, because we've tapped into something that, if we did Yar's Revenge, which is the shirt that Dave's wearing, for those of you with the audio portion of the program, you do a video on that's 15, 20, 25,000 views. You do a video based on the Too Many Men on the Ice game between the Canadians and the Bruins, 100.
Yeah, I find that a lot of people, that people who do what we do, that also do a lot of commentary, have a lot more subscribers than we do, because they reach a vast different audience. So for us to kind of be almost really just focus on the gaming part of it. I know I've, my early channel days had a lot of the hockey leagues and stuff like that on there that are probably subscribed to, but still to most of my subscribers are into the gaming thing here, and it's a small community on top of that. So to be a part of that is great. Again, we don't get everything right. Our opinions are not always what your opinions are. Right. And we get scathed all the time when we talk about a game. Sometimes if we love a game, we get some guff.
How can you possibly love this?
Yeah, and other times it's like, I don't like this game, and it's just like, oh, how can you not like this game, and you this and you that, and it's like, just sometimes there's games we like, sometimes there's game we don't like. And I ran into the same thing when I would, listen to video game podcasts, and I'd be like, how can you like this game? And they'd be like, I like it. Or I'd be like, how can you not like this game? It's the best game ever. And the host of the show would be like, I just don't. So again, it's all comes down to, personal preference, what you like in a game, what you want in a game, and what you enjoy in a game. And the idea is we all want to do this. It's supposed to be fun. It is supposed to be fun. And we try to take a lot of the, what do you want to call it? The arguments.
We don't argue.
Yeah, we try to take that out of the equation. There's no sense, because you could sit there all day and yell back and forth about your game and his game and the other game and what's better. And there is no perfect game. There is no best game. Every game does something a little different. Why do I play this last product that you and Al are doing with me? Why have I played 7 different hockey games in this project? Because they all do something a little different. They're all fun in their own way. Because if there was one that did everything, I wouldn't play anything else.
Right. And I think it also goes to show that there are plenty of different ways, depending on what your level of interaction is, to the proverbial, there are plenty of ways to skin a cat. And I think we've done that. We've all featured games that we like in presentation of that, and we all come at it with different points of view. Dave is the hardcore hockey fan. I'm kind of a middle of the road, and I'm not sure Al was ever really a hockey fan, sports fan, but not necessarily a hockey fan. So it's 3 different presentations and 7 different games. But again, it's one communal project, and other people have come up to me and said, can we do that again? And I think the answer is, I wouldn't do a season that way, but reach out to others. I mean, I've had 2 people come up and ask, can we do a co-op season? I said, I really don't want to do a co-op season, but post it on the Facebook group. There are people who would be glad to do that. And again, I think one of the things that we do try to do is hook people up together who want to collaborate.
Yeah, a season's tough. For a lot of people. I know I'm having trouble doing my full season just on my own. But a project like a playoff project like this, where we all play a handful of games, it's not too bad. We thought about a football playoffs that would be kind of fun. So you get 10 games top between the three of us. That's something that would be fun to do. I know on Delphi one time they were asking for people to play shootout hockey, and they were going to get 15 to 20 people to play an entire season.
It's so hard to do that though,
and that lasted about a week and a half. And then one guy just couldn't do it anymore, and he bailed out. So, okay, I'll do your team as well as my team. And then another guy bailed out, and then the guy that ran it wasn't heard from for a while. So it was a great idea, and I said, hey, I attempt to do this with you guys, but they wanted it played a certain way. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to play it. I want to play it my way. Right. In fact, I've had people that have asked me to play, hey, would you get on to Zoom or something and play head-to-head with me? And I just enjoy playing myself. I just do. My enjoyment is not playing against somebody. I've never enjoyed that.
I liken this to reading a book. I think any long-term project that I do is the equivalent of cracking open the large-size novel and reading it. And I just happen to share those with you, the public out there, but it happens every day in small cities, in towns across the country and the world, and because you can simulate pretty much anything, and it's the same as reading a book. And so I guess there's kind of an intimacy that gets lost, and that because however you and I could read the same novel and both take different things out of it. And so I'm being open enough to share with you how I would take in the novel, which is going to be different from how you would do that. And for me to say, that's not the way I wanted you to play, I think it'd be really difficult, because I think we all do. We all have our different strengths, so we all have our different weaknesses as far as that. And if you kind of paste them all together,
But I get where this project was coming from, because in order to kind of keep consistent and accurate statistics, everybody's got to be playing it the same way. So I fully understood that. I really did.
A project like the same engine, same list.
Yeah, so we're going to play it this way, and here's how you handle it. Here's how you handle it, because you don't want one guy not playing overtime and another guy playing overtime and someone else pulling the goalie in the first period and for the other goalie and the other guy not. I mean, you need to have some kind of criteria to keep the consistency for the project and to keep statistical accuracy as best as you can get it. So I get all of that, and I guess that's why I kind of just prefer just to play on my own, here in Studio B or Studio C, and just play my game. Or sometimes I like to stream it and show it off and try to get other people in the chat room and just kick back and play. But I'm more of a solitaire type of player, and I find the solitaire games I prefer the best. I really do. And I like the games I can sit back and, all the games on my channel that you see as you hear the planes going overhead. And there goes another one.
Oh, I don't hear the jets. Usually it's the F-35s or mine.
Yeah, no, but we got the small airport here, and I get the window open to get some air down here. So you might be hearing some planes in the background. But I enjoy the single player type of games where I can just kind of watch the game pan out and make as few decisions as possible. And then there's other games that I do like to make decisions, and that's again, I like having that option there to play either one. But to play against somebody, I mean, I would if we were getting together and someone said, hey, want to pull out Strat would probably be the best one. APA does not a lot of decisions in APA hockey, but someone said let's pull out Strat hockey, Strat baseball. Yeah, I'd sit down and have a beer with them and play a game, and it would be fun. But to try to do anything beyond the casual game...
I've done a couple leagues. Face-to-face is the way to do it, as far as I'm concerned, because then you could sit there and the people in your league, and you know what they like and what they don't like, and you can adjust, and they should know you. But as far as internet league, no.
Yeah.
No.
The only thing I would be open to do is if somebody wanted to do a season replay and they had a game that I had and I had the season and I enjoyed the game, and I would say, look, I will play a game from time to time and help you fill in But if you're going to require me to play 10 games a week or something, no. But if I say, look, I tell you what, I'll play this game here Saturday night. I'll sit down and play this game. And I'll send you the results. That's something I could do. I need it to be
a game a week.
I want something that I don't have this huge commitment to. That if something comes up, I don't get to it. That I'm not going to get grief from everybody else, and things like that. So the situation would have to be right for me to try to play with somebody else or in somebody else's season. So the potential's there to do that. But again, I feel like when I do something like this, there's a commitment on my part, and I don't want to let anybody down because I know what it's like to get let down. Believe me, I've been running hockey leagues for over 20 years, and I know what it's like when people bail out last minute and leave you stranded. And that's not a fun thing to do.
And you and I aren't anonymous anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. So for someone it might be, I scored Dave to do this project with me. Well, Dave might have 15 other projects to do with real life, and you don't want people to be disappointed with you. So I know you don't want this to go more than a half hour because we're doing both audio and video. So my question to you is, I don't think either one of us expected this to be doing this for 2 years, right?
Well, I didn't really.
Maybe not in the volume that we've done this. I mean, this is our 97th show in 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I guess the answer to that would be is that I joined a video game podcast that had been doing it for maybe less than a year. I joined them just for something to do because I liked the host of the show and they needed someone, so I filled in. And then 10 years later, we were still doing the show, and they're still going. I just don't do it because I don't play video games anymore. But they're still my friends, and I still talk to them, and I still get in their chat rooms. But I just don't. No sense
Thinking
me.
Of you, Edie.
Yeah, Edie. If Edie's listening from the Game Hounds, yeah, I just don't play video games anymore. I mean, I guess you could consider these games video games, but I mean, I don't play the PlayStation and the Xbox anymore. If I do, it's very rare. So there's no sense me being on a video game podcast. I might make a cameo from time to time to say hi. But we did that for 10 years, and we worked real hard at that, and we were real consistent with that. So I never thought that we'd do 3 weeks and quit. I never thought we'd do a couple months and quit. I always thought that there's a chance for some longevity here. But video games are a lot more, it's a bigger community than what we're doing. And
oh my gosh!
So
who doesn't do a video game of some sort, even if it's Candy Crush on their iPad.
Yeah. So I was my only concern was in a smaller community, in an older community. Let's face it, there's not a lot of teenagers doing what we do. It's a lot of people that are our age and older. So how would they respond to a podcast, an audio show about their hobby? And come to find out that this hobby is very important to a lot of people.
Yes, nostalgia is important to a lot of people.
And what I'm finding between this and doing the video game podcast is the video game podcast, every week a new game come out. And it's like you would talk about game X this week, and next week you have to talk about game Y. And then the next week it was game Z. And I would stumble on a game, and two of my favorite games were Left 4 Dead and Skyrim. Okay, one was a zombie shooter and one was a big adventure game. I would play those for months. And so I'd be on a video game show and they're like, are you going to talk about Skyrim again? Because this new game come out, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I like Skyrim. That's all I'm playing. I got 300 hours into Skyrim. Of course I'm going to talk about it, And so video games, to do a video game podcast, you are always changing the topic every week.
Right.
Whereas we have the luxury of talking.
Every Tuesday was a release day.
Yeah,
I used to work next to a video game store. Every Tuesday was a release.
So we would record on Wednesdays like we do now, and we would get the latest news. Bam! Hey, yesterday this game come out. Did you play it yet? Yeah, I did. I was up all night playing, so we can talk about it. Whereas we have the luxury here of talking about games that can be 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years old, and still get mileage out of talking about them.
We've never talked about the Lance Hafner games, which were all DOS-based and are all 25 years old that people still make files for. We haven't even gotten into that.
Yeah.
And so you're absolutely right.
So when we did it, I didn't think it would not do okay, but I didn't think we'd be at this level. I didn't think it would be received this well. I didn't think people would like listening to this every week as much as they do. Not saying we do a bad show by any means, but you just didn't know how it was going to go over. But I said, if we can sit down and we can have a good audio quality, which I believe we do, and have an interesting topic, have guests on from time to time in the community, and reach out to the community for their feedback and incorporate them into the show, which I think we've done all those things there. I think it could be, this could have some wheels. This could have some legs to it. And here it is 2 years later. The show's still growing. We still get feedback from people who have gone back. And what's really funny is every now and then Ron and I will sit down and look at the statistics of the show and see, what's working, what's not working, the whole bit. And it's like, do you realize that, 15 people in the last month have listened to show 1 and 2?
Which is amazing. Which is absolutely amazing.
Another plane goes by. You can hear the plane this time a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, that's a show we did 2 years ago. And we had 15 people in the last month listen to show 1 and 2. That's kind of neat when you think that, I can't say that about the video game show. That has anybody gone back and listened to an older show on the video game show? I don't think they ever did, because it was already past. We already talked about that. It's gone. But our hobby is nice because we have nostalgia. We talk about we talk about the games, how we play the games, the problems that we have in the games, the joy that we have in the games, the frustrations that we have in the games.
Yeah.
And even last night, I did a video last night. I was very, very frustrated with this game. It's a game that I played in the past. I kind of liked it, but right now, where I am sitting today, that it's too frustrating for me, and it come out in the video, and I'm just. It's not the game. Right now, it's not the game for me. Maybe in time, I'll sit.
When I opened it up before I went live, so about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, my first thought was, as I'm playing around with it, it's like, Dave is going to hate it.
Well, I don't hate it, but I know when last year when we got last year,
you weren't gonna like it.
Yeah, there was a few people in the community that did videos on this game and wrote in and were like, well,
it was Lima Bean Central for you.
I'm not, like I say, I'm not the only guy that feels this way,
and I understand that, and
so, but again, I'm not gonna like every game, and I'm not saying that any game's a bad game, but for me, I found that to be a frustrating type of game, and I've done that with the video games. I played a video game, and it's like, this is just way too frustrating. I'm not enjoying it. Let me go play something I enjoy. And so there's going to be times that we talk about a game, or we do a video for a game that we're just not going to be fans of, and we don't have to like every game.
Absolutely not.
That's the thing.
Again, just because we don't like it doesn't mean that you shouldn't. I mean, you can. Last question. What have you learned most in the last 2 years?
Boy, I tell you, you like to think the show grows and evolves, like you say, but
I definitely think the show has grown and evolved in the last 2 years.
I think that we've kind of stayed the course. We had I don't want to say we had a goal, but we had a plan for the show, or at least I did. I had a plan for the show, and I think we've stuck pretty true to that plan, because that seems to be what works. Is just the timeless topics, which was your idea. I
don't think we've devolved too much from where we started 2 years ago.
We try not to do too much of this or too much of that. What is really funny is we'll sit down and we talk all week long about the show. The shows, again, we do an hour show, but we spend hours.
We spend about 10 hours a week to produce 1 hour of audio.
Yeah, we talk about what we're going to talk about and this and that and the other thing. And sometimes even at the last minute we change it up. But I have a sheet over here with all the topics we want to talk about. And sometimes we'll get to that list and we'll be at the bottom of that list and there's nothing left to talk about. And I'm like, well, I guess that's the end of the show, because we don't have anything else to talk about. We've talked it all. I go back and it's like, we talked about this, we talked about that, we talked about this, we talked about that.
And then we play a new game and 7 new topics come up.
Yeah, and then something will happen and that spawns 5 or 6 new show topics, and next thing you know, that spawns 5 or 6%. So we go from like nothing to talk about to 15 things to talk about, and that's the great thing about the community, is something will happen in the community, whether in my game or your game or on Delphi or on Facebook or on YouTube, and something will come out and say, did you see that? That is something worth talking about. Or someone will email us and say, hey, can you talk about this? Or you started to talk about this on the show. I think that could take a whole show of its own. So we have little side topics that we talk about. So I think staying true to the plan that we had, but still, being very flexible with what's going on, not getting too crazy either way. We have our guests on, but we try to spread them out a little bit. And then we have our topics that we're on there. We try to, I don't know, I want to try to be a positive light on the community.
I hope we are.
I hope we are. And despite, that once in a while me and you will do a video, we'll talk about a game that we just happen not to like. Again, we can't like everything. That's just impossible. Again, you can't go into a restaurant and like everything on the menu. It just doesn't happen. There's something you're just not going to like. So that will happen from time to time. But for the most part, I like to share things that I've discovered, whether it's here on the show or on YouTube. Last night or the other day, I figured out how to put graphics into Strat PC Football. I had a hard time doing it. I went online, I figured it out, and I shared that with some people. And that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy giving back to the community, whether it's with my time or my videos or my knowledge and the whole bit. And this podcast here, and so that's why I try to give back. So, like I said, when you guys, if you'd like to donate to the show to keep us going, we in turn give it back. I'd like to think, Ron's unboxings, and you wouldn't believe the amount of questions that we field offline. With emails and Facebooks and, hey, do you got this spreadsheet, or, what about this game? Or, somebody had a printing question the other day, and I was trying to help them print out some stuff. So, people reach out to us, every day of the week. We get a couple emails from people reaching out to us, and we try to respond to them all and get back to everybody. And sometimes we just don't know, and that's just,
and we're not going to always know the answer.
Yeah, but if we can help, we try to help. So I'd like to think that we try to be a positive influence on the community, with the caveat being we're not going to like every game. And so just, if there's a particular game that we don't like, and we talk, I don't want to say we talk bad about, but we just say, look, this is not for me, and I get frustrated with this or that, or I couldn't figure it out. There's a couple of games I couldn't figure out. There's actually one game that just revamped the rule book and the examples, because I got the game. I didn't know step one of what to do. And I emailed the developer, and just quite honestly, I'm completely lost. Looking at your instructions, I have no idea how to start this game. And they revamped the instructions, and you know something? The new instructions are spot on. Spot on now. I don't know how he could have sent out those original directions and thought anybody could figure it out. But again, we did a whole show on directions, and
but that's the thing.
But yeah, so I think that we've met some great people in the community. We've met some great developers. I think that
wouldn't have been otherwise.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been talking to guys like Marco with regular season basketball, and Joe from Payoff Pitch,
Roberto Schiavini,
yeah, and there's people that won't come on the show that we've met. And we talk to all the time with email or Facebook, and they're like, no, I don't want to come on the show. And that's fine. They don't have to come on the show. We've invited people several times to come on and talk about their games that I particularly like and Ron particularly likes. And they're like, nope, don't want to come on the show. And nobody has to, Nope. But we still offer to people, especially the games that we play, because we're familiar with them. And we like to have them come on, talk about their game, and just tell the whole story. And a lot of times, Ron, if there's one thing that I've learned, if you want to say what I've learned from this whole thing now that I think about it, is when you have the people we've had on the show, everyone's had a story that just kind of, didn't really,
Flash football.
That was a great story. The people that started off with like the wargaming, and then come into the sports. Yep. Everyone that's been on for whatever the thing has had a story. Mark Unger had a great story.
March was great.
We've had so many people on, and just you expect to talk about their game, and it just gets into the person and their, how they got from point A to point B. That story is almost, if not better, than the story of their game.
Yes.
So if one thing I've learned is that when someone comes on the show and you're expecting this and you're getting this, and by the end of it you're like, wow, that was
you get something much better than what you thought you
yeah.
were
Well, I thought we were just gonna hear and talk about your game, and here we go, and we end up talking to somebody, and just somebody says something, and I'll see your eyes light up, and you're like, oh, you played that game, and then you guys go off on that, or somebody will say something about me, it's like, I played that too. Yeah, I know,
To go back to a point I made earlier, I think that we all thought that we were just kind of solo warriors. To sit there and go, oh, I love that game in the 80s. That was the gateway drug to this. There is, because I know that you only wanted us a half hour, now we've wandered for 45 minutes. There is one person that I'm, outside of Dave, who knows how I feel about him, but there is one person that I specifically want to thank. And I don't think any of this would have been possible without Al.
Yeah.
Al was the one who pushed me to not only, record games, because I did the 58 NFL Championship on my other channel. Second and 10. I'm wearing glasses. It's just as bad looking as you could possibly think. Al was the one that pushed me to go live. And by going live that first time, you get to meet other people. And that first football season, I think it wasn't the walk-off foot safety game was the first one you watched, but it was close. Got me involved with this character on my left. And because of that, we took it to this level. But that all goes back to Al.
Right. Yep. So we gotta we gotta thank Al for getting everybody fired up about this and getting the community going. And we kind of rallied around him. We still do. We still rally around him and value his opinion in the whole bit, and love watching his videos and his chat rooms and his chats. I had him on the chat the other night, and we went 3.5 hours on my YouTube channel, which again, we were just supposed to go a half hour to an hour, and it just, the chat room was lively. We had a great time. We had a lot of interaction. It was all good, and that's another part of the great community here, is once in a while when we have our live chats on the weekends. And we just go and we go and we go, and people come and go the whole night, and it's just a good chance to, I guess it's better than sitting there watching TV. You get to talk with people in your community, and again, the whole solo warrior thing. Again, we kind of think we do this and we're all alone, but you have no idea how many other people do this. I guess that's the other thing I've learned is how many other people do this. And how many other games they play, and I'd be surprised how many people play this game and how much fun they've had with this, or how did they fix this in their game, and they had a problem with this, and they did that, and how many people are willing to help me out on Delphi or Facebook if I have a problem with something. That's why, in turn, I like to try to help people when I find out, because people have helped me along the way to make my games more enjoyable. So what was the one thing that you've kind of got out of the last 2 years about this?
Oh, goodness. I think the diversity. I think we all kind of get into our bubbles. Certainly, I've played things that I didn't think I would enjoy. Sharing that and helping bring new things to the community, reconnecting with people from other gaming things. I think it was very helpful to get through the last year, just to have something positive to focus on, and coming out of it and keeping that. It wasn't just, your oatmeal for when times are bad. It's just, for the things when times are good, and to interact with people that you think of as maybe unapproachable. The Steve Towers, people who are already established. Now, Steve's going to tell you that, what do you mean I'm unapproachable? But you wouldn't necessarily have done that, if you're just Ron Zuck and nobody. Okay, Retro Sports Network kind of help with that. But, the fact that you and I sit here every week and talk with different, talk amongst that, and then have the cloud, that's great. I have game design. You know how cool it is to have someone that you buy games from wish you a happy birthday on Facebook?
Yeah.
That's cool. Because of the show. And so that, I think feeling part of the community and hoping to be a positive part of the community. I've certainly learned a lot about gaming in the last 2 years. I guess that's it. And just trying to share with people what I like and bring you into a little bit of my solo world.
Yep. And
yeah.
I understand why people don't want to do kind of what we do, because you are putting yourself out there willingly.
Oh, it is, yeah.
And
this is tough.
yeah, and sometimes that can be a problem. It really can, depending like what you say, how somebody interprets what you say.
You gotta be really careful what you say.
And so I mean, it's and we do the same too. We'll watch our videos of other people, and it's just like, oh, this and that, and it's easy to pick apart, when they say the wrong team name or the wrong yard line or something like that. But it's something we all do too, so we tend to be a little bit more forgiving. But yeah, we put ourselves out there willingly, knowing that there's gonna be bad with the good, but there's just way more good. And even though the bad's out there and the bad bothers us, and why people do what they do, I don't know why from time to time, but the good just outweighs the bad. And we just got to go on pushing forward and say, okay, the feedback we get is not 100% positive, but if you get 90%, that we're happy with that, because you're not going to please everybody in the whole bit. But yeah, so again, we kind of willingly do this knowing we're going to take the good with the bad, but it's been more good over the last 2 years, and it's been fun watching it grow, watching the show segments come and go sometimes depending how we feel, but for the most part we try to stay true to the show. We've gotten some suggestions along the way, some we've taken in, some we haven't, there's reasons why we might not take a suggestion,
right,
for one reason or another. Maybe something we've tried and it didn't quite work, or it's just not a good fit for our show. And again, this is something we do just voluntarily here. And like I said, we don't want to put ads on the show. And we can't help it. YouTube and Twitch, we don't control that. But as far as the audio podcast that you listen to from Spreaker or from iTunes, whatever it is, the only advertising we ever want to do if it's somebody in the community. If somebody in the community says, "Hey, I got a game or a season, can I, talk about it on the show?" That's the only time we'd ever consider advertising. So that's why we ask for your help here with the PayPal donations or the Venmo donations, is so we can keep this ad free. We don't get paid for doing this, as you know. And so if you like the show, if you'd like us to go on another year, if this is something you enjoy, there's a couple ways that you can help out to help just pay the bills that we get coming in between Spreaker and StreamYard and the other things that we need to do for the show. But anyway, so all right. Well, what do you think? Should we wrap up show 97, the 2-year anniversary show?
That's right.
All right, here we go. By the numbers. Thank you, Metal Church, again for allowing us to use your song here. And By the Numbers, what a fitting song for Cards and Dice. By the Numbers.
It was. I think as we started that with the third show. You think they're going to come play in your basement?
I don't know. I'm kind of hoping they come around again. That's for sure.
It's going to be like Coda and Savannah, and have them do a concert on the Park on Today Show, right?
That maybe. It was funny one time.
We can't do the other house band, Steel Panther, in public, but we can.
Yeah, we can't. Steel Panther's coming around too. I got to get you at a Steel Panther concert. That'd be kind of fun.
I would love that. Can't talk about it, but I'd love it.
Yeah. What was funny one time? Somebody on Facebook asked one time. They said, if Journey was going to play in your backyard, what song would you have them play?
Well, that's an interesting question. What'd you say?
I said anything by Rush.
Tom Sawyer is a mean.
Oh, it was just funny there. But anyway, hey, so ways to get a hold of us. digitaltodice.com is the website. That's how you find us. Over on I'll put up the graphics here in the video show. There it is.
Digital Dice. One more time.
Yeah, digitaldice.com is the place you can find us over there. Facebook.com/groups/digitaltodice. That's where you can find us over on Facebook. If you're looking for Ron over on Twitch, the Retro Sports Network is where Ron goes live now.
Live.
And then everything ends up on YouTube 24 hours later. But if you want to catch him live, get over to the Retro Sports Network. I'm just Dave Gardner videos on YouTube, and that's where everything goes up here. Let's see, over at cafepress.com/digital-to-dice, you can get some Digital to Dice swag, mugs, mouse pads, t-shirts, the whole bit. It does support the show, even though we haven't made enough to get anything from them at all. but you get some cool swag, and that's awesome too.
The person we didn't know that posted the picture of his coffee cup.
Yeah.
It was just his YouTube. I think it was just his Facebook cover. I don't think he was just trying to do it to get us noticed. That was really cool.
That was neat when someone had the Digital to Dice coffee mug on their Facebook profile. That was kind of neat. And again, if you'd like to help donate the show with PayPal, it's paypal.me/icehog, ICEHOG, paypal.me/icehog. And that should be over on the digitaltodice.com. In the description should have that as well. And as Venmo, Dave-Gardner-44, Dave-Gardner-44, and you'll see the Eastern Mass Roller Hockey League logo. That's the league, the league business thing that I have there. But that will help go to the show, and that will help us pay the Spreaker bills and the StreamYard bills and the whole bit. So anyway, that wraps up episode 97. That wraps up 2 years. And so next week we have show 98, and then coming up in August, we'll have show 100 of the Digital to Dice podcast.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yep. It's kind of it's been a fun ride.
Yes.
And it continues to be.
Continues to be. I look forward to doing this every week.
A fun ride. Yeah, and we look forward to your feedback, even though we know that a lot of you listening and don't feedback, and that's perfectly fine too. But the feedback we get is definitely helpful for the show. It spawns ideas for us too, as far as like what else we're going to do on the show. So keep them coming as well. So I'm Dave.
I'm Ron.
We'll talk to everybody later. Thank you so much for 2 years of Digital to Dice.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. You always, it's a cliffhanger with you with that bye-bye.
I was trying to let you do the appropriate thank you without stepping on you.
I
Co-host auditions are next
2
week.
years of this I put up with.